Alright, so in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you about areas and conditional statements. Sorry, arrays and conditional statements. So just open up Xcode. Sorry, yeah. Open up Xcode and create another playground. So we'll just name it arrays and conditional statements. So just save it any way you want. Just do that. So we'll start off with an array. Arrays are very easy, by the way. Not that much effort. So as above, it says an array. An array is an ordered series or arrangement of words and numbers that can be pulled out at any point in time. So you declare one by just pressing the open rectangular bracket. It should be on the third row down in the top right of your Mac keyboard, and it looks like that. And then you just start putting things in it, yeah. And then you close it up, and you can do this with words as well. Three, etc. And yeah, and so that's the very simplistic type. But if you want to take one of those values out, you just make it into a variable. So we'll just do var number array equals that, and we'll do var word array equals that. So then now what you do from here is you would type print bracket ARR, which stands for array. That again, that little you would do print the name of the array, so we'll do number array, and then that little open close rectangular bracket, and then you would put the value. So in arrays, they start off with 0 through to, in the number array case, it would go from 0 to 9, because 1, it always starts off with 0. So in this case, we would do 0, and then it would print 1. If we do 1, it would print 2. Very simple over here. So that's how you print an array out. So now onto, so just to recap, a very simplistic type of array is this one. So you just put it in open close rectangular brackets, and then just commas to separate each of them. You can do it with words again here. And then if you wanted to print out a specific value from that array, you would put it into a variable, and then do print the name of the array, open close rectangular brackets, and then the index number. And as I said before, the index number starts at 0 and then just goes through. So yeah, so that's all about arrays. Now we'll go into conditional statements. So as said above, they're essentially just if, else, and else if statements. It will make much sense when you read the other bit of it in the description above. So yeah, so you declare them by saying if, we'll give them variables, so just do number 1 equals 1, number 2, if I can spell, number 2 equals 10. So then you just declare them by saying if, and then the statement that you want. So in this case, we'll do if number 1 is less than number 2, and then curly brackets, then we want to print out awesome. But if that's not the case, then you just type else curly brackets, else print out that's a bummer. So yeah, so in this case, obviously, it's going to print out awesome because 1 is less than 10. But if we change number 1 to 11, for instance, it would print out that's a bummer because 11 is not less than 10. So that's the very simplistic type. But then you can get a bit more, I guess, difficult. If we just add var number 3 equals 20, var number 4 equals 40, for instance. So in this case, we have 4 different variables. So, and then we'll just change number 1 back to 1. So then that can be if 1 is less than number 2. But then if we want, for instance, number 3 to be greater than number 2, we'll just type else if number 3 is greater than number 2, or number 1, curly brackets, then print number 3 must be huge. And then obviously in this case, it's not going to run because this one's already true. But if we change this to 11, then it will run because that's not true. So then the next condition will be the else if statement. So that's how that sort of works. And then again, if you really want to, you can put an else statement which just prints out no one is huge. So that's if we just basically just, put zeros for everything. As so. So then that'll obviously print out that one because there are no values for the other one. So yeah, so just to recap, you can declare an else if statement by saying if the condition. So in this case, we did if number 1 is less than number 2, we want to print out awesome. And then, but if number 3 is greater than number 1, we would print out this, as long as the first if statement is not true. And then if nothing's true, we would print out this else statement. So that's a bit of a recap for that. So yeah, and then I'll show you an actual example. So this is essentially an actual example here. So I said if the variable equals false, then we want all this to happen. But if it isn't, then all this will happen. So yeah, it's very simple to understand. So that's a brief overview of arrays and conditional statements. And just to sum up, an array is an ordered series or arrangement of words and numbers that can be pulled out at any point in time. You can declare it by doing the rectangular open and close brackets located in the top right 3 rows down. And then you just type in whatever values you want separated by a comma. And if you want to pull an array out, you would just type print the name of the variable array, open and close rectangular brackets, and then the index number. And also to remember, index number starts with 0 and then goes through. And conditional statements are essentially if, else, and else if statements. These are used to make something happen only if something else happens. Think about it as if like it's raining and you're wearing a jacket, but if it's not raining, you would probably wear a nice t-shirt. So you get what I mean? essentially, if this happens, then I have to do this. So in this example here, if number 1 is less than number 2, it would print awesome. If that's not the case, but number 3 is greater than number 1, then it will print number 3 must be huge. But if none of those statements are true, then this else statement would run and print no one is huge. So that's a little bit about else, if statements and arrays. So thanks for watching.